Okay, this is going to be a shorter video, but I'm just going to walk you through some of the stuff that I've done since the previous one. One is I've connected all my wires from my case to the, let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to have to move the camera a little bit here. Sorry if this ends up being a little bit jerky, but... So yeah, that gives you an idea of what I did with the wires. Now again, this can be a little bit tedious, and I know I sound like a broken record, but in your manual, it tells you where all those wires, and they're marked positive or negative. The positives have a little arrow on them, and right here in this little diagram, it tells you exactly where to put them. It even says, the majority of computer cases front panel connectors are privately plugged into JFP1, all right, which is right there. So if you're using the same motherboard that I did, you have a sound here, you have two USB connections here, and then you have the case connections here. This cable here that came in this case is a SATA for the SATA connection on the front of the case, so I'm going to wait to connect that last. Now I'm just going to give you what the remainder of the build is. So I have my video card. And let me see if I can widen out a little bit again. Okay, so I have the video card. I've removed one of the spacer bars, and in this case it's just a matter of clicking down on this little notch here and it pulls it up. And then in my PCI Express slot, I take my card, I push it down, I hear a snap. There's a little snap that pops up here. I now have my card in there, and then in this case I just pull this down and snap it in place, and I have my video card in. Pretty simple. And in the back I have my connectors. I have little plastic things on this card that I built or that I purchased. So just a couple, and really that's it. I'm complete with building the computer. The next step are going to be just twofold. One is with my case came my SATA connectors. So again, two SATA connectors, and one of these will go in the hard drive, the other one will go in the DVD-ROM. Here are my SATA connectors on my motherboard. So if I pull in there, those are my SATA connectors. There's 6 of them on this current board. I will connect those up, and then I will install the power supply. And the power supply installing it is kind of bulky, especially without a modular power supply. But just to give you an idea, I have connectors like this, which are my 4 connectors, which go into my other connectors here, which will operate my case fans, right? And I think in this case I have 1, 2, 3 fans, and I have 3 white connectors. And then I will also have these connectors, which are my SATA connectors, power connectors, for both my hard drive and drive. Now this case, like I said, without a modular power supply, I'm gonna have to do some finagling with cable management and things like this. Really, all that happens is the power supply fits into the bottom of the case, fan goes down, and then there's a locking mechanism that came with the case that will keep the power supply in place. So I'm not, again, it's hard to videotape that because I'm going to be finagling and moving things around and most likely possibly swearing. So, but it's not that difficult. It's as long as you know where the connectors are, it's really just finagling. And again, for people that do this the first time, the important part is to take your time. Don't get rushed. Step away from it if you're having difficulty or if you're getting frustrated. and just take your time. There's no reason why you you need to have, it has to be completely, most accidents, most things that happen where all of a sudden you drop something on the motherboard or you crack the motherboard or whatever it may be, usually happen because people are rushing. But all my connections are connected, and all I have left are these white connectors that are going to the power supply. So once I get the power supply in, I'm going to figure out my cable management. And probably have to pull a cable up here to go to my DVD-ROM. Here, I'm going to see if I can, what I'm really actually going to see if I can do is if I can bury the existing cables in here somehow. I'm not sure if they'll fit through here, but I'd like to then get all my existing cables. Now the problem is I want to bury them because, see, when you have a power supply that's not modular, what ends up happening is those cables reduce the airflow that's going through the case. Probably not that big of a deal in here. I would have preferred a modular power supply, but again, money restriction. So I got my video card in, I got everything. Now another thing to note, if you're building a computer with a more powerful video card, there will often be power connectors associated with on the video card. And remember, there's two power connectors here. There's my power connector, it's hard to see, let me see if I zoom in. There's my power connector here on my board and here. Up here, it's going to be hard to see, but widen out. Up here on the top part of the motherboard. So there's going to be two power supplies. One that basically powers the processor and gives power to the processor, and then the main power supply that goes to the board. And again, those are pretty self-explanatory when you look at them on the power supply in order to install it. So the next video will be power supply in, everything connected. I'll try to walk through it, and then we will turn it on and we will hope for no beeps, and then the next step will be hooking it up to a monitor and seeing if I can get into the BIOS, and then that'll be the rest of the video. So my plan for the rest of the week is to have the next video tomorrow, which is going to be the turn on build, and then on Friday probably I will do the installation and put it up on the TV, and we'll do the installation of the motherboard drivers, those kind of things. I'll do a complete installation. I think I'll put Windows 8 on here just for the heck of it, since I haven't done much with Windows 8, and we'll go from there. But again, this whole process so far has taken me probably a half hour. I've taught, but in real time, probably a half hour. And again, I can't stress enough the importance of documentation. I know, especially as men, and no offense, Heidi, but we like to go ahead and just start doing things without reading stuff. And when you first do this, if you spend the time reading the documentation and figuring things out and planning, it really is usually a pretty painless process. And I know that some of the problems that we had in the class so far have basically not been build problems. They've been hardware issues where we've had a piece of hardware dead on arrival. So that said, I will continue, and I hope everybody is, I know a lot of you are already up and running. If you have any experiences to share, please share them on Google+, any commentary of what I'm talking about, any way other people might do something differently, or offer suggestions of how to do things better. That would be great too. I'm always open to it. Again, I'm not a hardware guru. I can do it. Not sure how much I enjoy doing it, but I can do it. I do actually enjoy building if I'm building a powerhouse machine that I'm looking forward to using. But for this, this isn't going to cut my needs for my playing BioShock Infinite on it. So thanks a lot. Bye.